Hi everyone! So I wanted to share with you guys how I make my nut milks, my fresh raw nut milks. I do it a lot differently than all or most of the other raw foodies out there. To me, it tastes so much better this way, and I love nut milks. They actually are really fantastic addition to smoothies, and you really don't want to settle for the packaged nut milks. There's a lot of nutrition that's not in there. They have to add nutrition to it actually, and they add a lot of additives to it, a lot of extra salt, a lot of extra this googer gum. What the heck is that? All this other words you cannot pronounce to this, and it's like, you know what? I understand it is a healthier option than a lot of the other junk out there, but you know what? You can do better. You most definitely can do better by making your own homemade. And it's super simple and easy to make nut milk, and so much better, so much tastier, tons more nutrition too. So I want to show you guys my version. Alrighty guys, so in the first step in making my nut milks is, with any nut milk too, is you have to soak your nuts. Now, on a side note, I definitely highly recommend you check out Lou Corona and Dan McDonald with the Liferegenerator and really look into soaking your nuts and seeds. It is amazing how much healthier it is for your body, how much better it feels on your body, and just it's absolutely amazing and wonderful. I can go into a whole nother video all about that because it is fantastic, and you will never want to eat dried nuts ever again after you start soaking them and doing nut milks and just really soaking them and just doing this step instead. It's so much better for your body. So for pecan milk, the recipe is for any nut milk is usually 1 cup of nuts to 3 cups of liquid or water. But what I do is I use coconut water instead of regular water. And for my nuts, is what I do is I love to have fresh nut milks like all the time. When I'm in the phases for nut milks, I like to have it fresh all the time, and so a full recipe batch I can't get through in time. If you can, that's fantastic. You can make a whole recipe, so that's just 1 cup or 100 grams to 3 cups of liquid. But I like to only make a half a batch. That works for me, so I always consistently have a nice fresh batch of nut milk all the time, and so I love doing that. And so it fills half my mason jar. This is a large mason jar that holds roughly 32 ounces or a little bit more, so this nut milk will fill just about half or a little over half, and that is perfect for me. So I will be cutting the recipe in half. This is how I always make my nut milks, my raw nut milks here now. Let's see, right here, 1/4 of a cup is 30 grams, so if you have 4 1/4 cups, that makes 1 cup. And I'm doing half a serving, so I'm going to do 2 1/4 cups, so I'm going to measure out 60 grams, okay? That will be half a serving of a full recipe of nut milk, which is what I want. So I'm going to measure out my pecans, okay? And we're going to measure out 60 grams. Okay guys, so I have 60 grams of pecans, and all I do is just take any container. I use my 2-pound Medjool date containers. They're perfect. I reuse them because they're perfect containers. No need to throw them away, and you can reuse them for a lot of things. And so I just fill it with a little bit of water. It doesn't need to be a heck of a lot of water, and so I'm just enough to where they can kind of just float in there, enough in there. And I just let it, is what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and I'm going to let it soak overnight, at least 12 hours. Lou Corona and Dan McDonald really suggest at least 12 hours, but 24 hours is best for unlocking all those enzyme inhibitors from the nuts and the seeds and everything. And it just 24 hours really makes it like complete, really complete. And I have tested that out and they are so true, they are so right. So I like to actually let it soak for 24 hours. So it's been 24 hours and this is what the soaked nuts look like, the water. This is really, really good because all the nuts are fully soaked and they are perfect and ready. So now I'm going to strain them. So I got my pecans in there, put them in the blender right after I strained them there. And now, since this is a half a batch, we're only gonna put 1.5 cups of liquid in there. Now you can use regular water if you want, but I highly recommend you use coconut water. That is the kind of the key that transforms this nut milk into, like, I guess as you can say, a whole new level. It makes it a lot more flavorful and it digests perfectly with the nuts, the fats in the nuts and everything. But I highly recommend using young Thai coconuts, or these young coconuts, like a lot of the other raw foodies talk about and what that they use. But I can't, for me personally, for the amount of coconut water that I go through, I buy these as much as I can, but otherwise I settle for the next best option, which is coconut water in the can. I don't like the aluminum at all, but I usually go for Zico coconut water because it's in those cardboard containers, but those kind of have disappeared in my town here, and so I kind of have to settle for the aluminum can ones. But you don't have to use the ones with pulp if you don't want to. So I like it with just a little bit of pulp. It's just whatever is available at the store. So this just happens to have with pulp, and they're just little young coconut squares, you know, from the coconut meat, and there's just a little bit in there. So I'm going to measure 1.5 cups. Okay, I have to use up my last can here. Okay guys, so here's my pecan milk. It is finished, and this is the perfect amount to get me through like roughly just about a week, or even a little under a week. But yes, separation is natural. Shake well. Even as packaged, liquids say, separation is natural, shake well. Well, this is true too. See, it's already starting to separate. So separation is natural, shake well, but stir well actually. But this is so delicious. It is really good. Like, you can make like a pecan pie smoothie. This is pecan. I mean, there's so many different nuts and seeds that you can make milks out of. Super simple and easy to do. And it changes up the flavor of your smoothie. And you get a lot of different nutrition too from all the different types of nuts and seeds also. But the other key to this is I did not strain it. I don't strain it because the nuts are soaked so well that that they blend like super easy, and there's no need to strain it. I don't know why other raw foodies strain their nut milks. I understand trying to get it silky smooth, I guess, if that's how you want it, but I think you waste a lot of extra flavor that way too, and what you're left with is actually very, very little. And I know they can reuse the pulp and everything for other things, but I like to keep the fiber in there, and it doesn't bother me at all. It's still silky smooth, and it's just eliminates another step to do. So I mean, that's all it is just soak your nuts or your seeds for 24 hours, put them in your blender with coconut water and blend it. And that's it. And you've got, how simple and easy is that? It's so much more nutritious for you and doesn't have any other added ingredients. It's just coconut water and nuts. That's it. And that's just what your body wants. It doesn't want all that extra nasty additive stuff and a lot of extra added sodium too. I mean, that's not needed. It's not needed. But anyways, you guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you try out nut milk if you've never tried it before, homemade, and I hope you enjoy it, especially pecan milk. Super tasty. So remember to love being raw, you guys. Put a big old smile on your face today. I hope I did that for you, and I'll see you guys next video. Okay, bye guys.